You originally wrote this book by yourself. I just wanted to know first and foremost, like, what were you trying to accomplish, and why reach out to me?
I have an unusual life. I'm a female in technology who works in sports. I made it to the executive level. I've been the chief of operations for a software company. I've worked in sports. I've done really interesting things that many women my age, and even I think, now that I've had a couple interns in their 20s, the kinds of things I've done are still unusual, even today, especially my career. But I was a crazy kid, got in trouble several times in high school. I committed a felony at 19. For me, as a white person in Portland, Oregon, committing a felony, I got a slap on the wrist. I paid a $400 fine, and my bosses actually paid off my public service that I was supposed to pay. It was a slap on the wrist. Essentially the parting words from the judge as I'm standing in the courtroom was, will you go to college? Like that was the expectation, is like just this eye roll. Now part of that is at some level I've come to realize is a discount of women. We're not scary. We're not threatening. There's really no reason to lock us up or punish us too hard because we're not capable of causing all that much damage. That's the negative part of it. The positive part of it is probably because I'm white and I'm cute, or at least I was at 19. And this kind of obviously intelligent person, I defended myself because I would refuse to spend the money on an attorney. So I looked up the stuff and figured out what you were supposed to do and showed up in court and did my thing. Cost me a whole lot less. Now, as I became into my 30s and really started to feel the confidence of my power and what I was capable of doing, I started to tell that story in my head. What I would do is go back through all the things I did wrong and how many times I stood in front of a judge or, got in trouble for something, and realized if I would have been a 19-year-old black boy standing in front of that judge, this book was really an attempt to try to show that we still have work to do as a society and we have to make choices. Are we really going to put 1 million people in prison every year and leave them there? And when they get out, we're not going to give them unemployment. We're not going to let them live in public housing. We're not going to let them vote. We're not going to let them, you have to check a box that says you committed a felony. I mean, what the hell are we thinking that somehow these people are supposed to go on, move on, do something else, make other choices, when we've done everything humanly possible to make sure that people are never forgiven? People don't get to start over. And I did. I got to start over multiple times, but I realized over time that I was unusual. I wrote the book trying to tell that story, but I could only tell it from my end. And my end is one of privilege. Mine is one of forgiveness. And mine is one of expectation, right? The world had expectations for me, and that made a big difference for me getting through. So, but that's all I could tell it from was that side.
After I did read your story, and there were things in there I did not know about you, it was glaring to me that if I had been through the same, and I don't know that, even if it was the same timeline, like maybe if my dad during that same period that you grew up had went through the same situations, his life would be drastically different. He wouldn't be a technology maven. You know what I'm saying? He would be just another dude trying to hopefully get a city job or get a bag boy position. I don't know. It would have been drastically different, especially coming up in urban America, meaning New York City, during that time period. So I thought it was definitely poignant, and because I had been through a lot of experiences where I was looked at as an exceptional black guy, not just a talented guy. I definitely could see where people will understand without us throwing it in their face what this country is and what it means to grow up white and black. I mean, it just is what it is. And I think regardless of where I grew up, even if I grew up in the South, my set of circumstances would have been different in terms of the people I interacted with, but it would have been the same dichotomy regardless. That's something I realized when I went to a historically black college and met black kids from all over the country and all over the world. Because the same things I went through, they went through in Jamaica, London, California, Colorado. It didn't really matter. So, this is a great book. I hope people really understand and read it and understand that what we're talking about is we're just shining a light by highlighting examples of our lives. And there's going to be a lot more. Like, we don't we're not going to fix anything unless we have dialogues that are frank and honest. And that was something I really appreciated about what you did, was just honesty. So many people want to be so PC and politically correct. They're scared of honesty and being vulnerable. And honestly, I hope you and my vulnerability allows people to heal and understand instead of being sensational.